What's going on, guys? Welcome to another mobility session. Today we're focusing on full body mobility, getting started. Got my boy Isaiah here, one of my college guys. Trained him when I was coaching over at W&J. First stretch of the day is gonna be our plantar fascia stretch, okay? So we're gonna start with the toes tucked, sitting our hips back, getting a good stretch at the bottom of the foot. We're gonna hold this for 45 seconds, okay? So we're just breathing, relaxing into this position. When we sit or we're inactive for long periods of time, the plantar fascia gets tight, right? And so when our plantar fascia becomes restricted, it leads to tightnesses and compensations throughout the rest of the body. So it's very important to do this stretch. This is a great stretch that you can do any time of day, as much as you want, to help open up the lower legs and just take tension out of the body, okay? We're gonna hold this for another 10 seconds. If this is tight, you can also lean forward, take some of the weight off of the toes, like Isaiah's doing. Or if you want a bigger stretch, you just stay tall and lean your hips into the feet. So find the level that works best for you and stay there, okay? I'm gonna hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're transitioning to our tib stretch, okay? So we're just pointing the toes, sitting our hips back, okay? And same thing, find a level that feels good for you, right? Not everyone can sit back here. I know I couldn't when I first started. I had a ton of knee injuries that held me back for years, right? MCL, LCL, meniscus, other LCL. So when I started, I literally had to use my hands for support and just chill here. And then over time, I was able to start gradually progressing and sitting back more and more until now I can get hips to heels, okay? We're gonna hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Cool. So now we're gonna come up into our elephant walk. Now, depending on where you're at mobility-wise, you might need to use some type of elevation. Start with both knees bent. You can put your forearms or your hands on a bench for assistance. And then all you're gonna do is flex the quad and extend through that hamstring, holding this position for 3 seconds, bringing both knees in, and then flexing and extending on the other side. Okay, so we're gonna go 15 reps each side, really focusing on holding this squeeze to open up the hamstrings. A lot of times when the hamstrings get tight, it takes a lot of stress. The knees take a lot of stress, right? So it's important to make sure, especially if we're training hard, we need to open up the hammies and make sure that posterior chain stays healthy. So it's a great exercise to do that. And like I said, you can start at any level and slowly progress by lowering the height of this box, right? Now our goal with this movement is to eventually be able to get our hands to the ground. So right here, holding that flex and fully extending through that hamstring. One more each side. Time. All right, shake it out. Get the body feeling good. We're gonna move into our standing pancakes. Nice wide stance, getting a good stretch in the adductors. We're gonna go elbows right here, reaching them towards the ground, okay? So my goal here is to just pulse in this position, try to get a little bit lower with each rep. Okay, so we're gonna go 30 reps, getting a ton of blood into the adductors, right? So we'll go 10 reps right here,
6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to lean towards this left leg. Try to get that elbow to the ground. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then we're going to lean to the right. Same thing, elbow to the ground. You'll notice this side is a little bit tighter for me. You'll probably have the same thing on one side. That's okay. 5, 6, 7. Keeping the quads flexed. 9 and 10. Good job.
Shake it out. Get in that little extra rotation. It's going to open up some of those tight areas you wouldn't normally get if you were just going straight up and down. So now we're going to go into our 90-90 push-up. Getting set on the ground here in this 90-90 position. Right, chest stacks over the lead leg. All we're going to do is reach with the chest. We don't want to let it fall. And we're going to just get a good stretch on that outer hip, holding it, pushing up with our hands, okay? Reach, reach, reach with the chest, hold it, push up with the hands, okay? 20 reps. You don't have to rush through these. I want you to take your time and really just focus on feeling your body start to open up and release some of that tension that you might have built during your training sessions, okay? So this is all about freeing the body, letting go of excess tension, and allowing yourself to move freely. Be like water, as Bruce Lee would say. Once you get your 20 reps, you can switch sides. Same thing right here, reaching with that chest, not letting it collapse, getting that good stretch in the outer hip, and then pushing back up. This is a great stretch. If you sit down for long periods of time, the outer hips get tight. They become restricted. This is a great exercise to help open that up, loosen up the hips. Awesome. So next we have our alternating toe touch. So I'm right here, feet together, about hand width apart, right? Toes slightly in. I know my feet are disgusting. Don't look at them. We're going to go right here. Reaching towards that opposite foot, getting that hand to the floor if you can. Coming up, doing the same on the other side. Okay, now we're starting in a hinged position. So I'm not just rounding my back, right? Hips back here, right? Then we reach. So this is gonna help us get a little bit of that extra stretch on the outer hamstring. 15 each side. What you'll notice is the outer hamstrings, when they become tight, they restrict the rotation of the hip, which leads to a lot of issues with just tightness and pain overall. So this is one of my top stretches to help open that up. And when you're doing this, I want you to focus on really keeping the hips up and back, okay? Hips up and back, reaching, holding that position, really opening up, lengthening through that hamstring, and then coming up. Go 3 more each side. Just releasing all tension. 1 more. Good work. So now we're going to go into our drop in. This is more of an active movement, right? So now that we've lengthened the hamstrings, we're going to engage the hips to help stabilize that, right? So I'm in my split stance right here, head over my foot, my chest turns, and you'll see I'm facing the same direction with my knee and my chest. So I'm right here, hips up and back, getting that hip engaged. We're just gonna hold for 30 seconds. All right, so you'll see my back toe is pointed slightly in, heel is pointed out, focusing on getting that internal rotation in the hip. A lot of people lack that hip internal rotation. So I'm right here holding this, and I'm actively pushing through the big toe, keeping my heels off the ground, right? That's gonna lengthen that hamstring even more. Time, and then we'll go to the other side. So toes in, heels out, head aligned over the foot, chest and knee pointed in the same direction, pushing this hip up and back, up and back, up and back. So our knee is directly over the foot, okay? This is almost the opposite of a knee over toe exercise where we're focusing more on the hamstring and the posterior chain versus the quads. 3, 2, 1, time. So we're getting into our upper body now, working on the neck. So we're gonna go straight up and down, just getting 10 reps, mobilizing the front side. 10 reps, reaching with the chin, getting a good stretch, and then tucking chin to chest. One more. Good, now we're gonna go side to side like you're saying no. And these should be nice, slow, controlled reps. We don't wanna rush through, especially with our neck movements. We don't wanna tweak the neck, do it nice and slow and controlled, just getting blood flow, circulation to the surrounding muscles. Same thing here, 10 reps each side. One more. Good, now we're gonna go half circles. So I'm going here, ear to shoulder, rotate the top half, get to that other shoulder, 5 reps. So we're going top half circles, nice and slow. And then one more. Good, now we're gonna go bottom half. So chin to chest, rotate, rotate, rotate. Get that ear to shoulder. Same thing, rotate, 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 ear to shoulder. Keeping the chin tucked, stretching out the backside of that cervical spine. One more. Oftentimes the neck is one of the most neglected muscle groups in the body, but if you sit at a desk all day for work, or if you're constantly immobilized, that neck takes a lot of pressure from always looking down at a phone or at a computer screen. So, last mobility exercise of the day, we're gonna go into our Superman, focusing on staying nice and neutral with the neck. So I'm not looking up, I'm not letting my head fall. I wanna imagine there's a string at the crown of my head, pulling me up and taking some of that pressure off, okay? So we're here, feet off the ground, lifting the sternum up off the ground. We've got our hands right underneath us. I'm gonna hold this for 30 seconds. And when you guys do this, focus on being very intentional with your breathing. Okay, so staying calm, keeping the breath slow and light. We got 10 seconds. Three, two, one. Stay up, and now we're gonna go into side bends, okay? 15 each side, getting some rotation into the spine. You might feel a good burn in the muscles of your back. That's ideal. What we're doing is activating the posterior chain to help support us, and we're decompressing the front side of the body. Let's go 5 more each side, keeping the feet off the ground. Getting rotation into that spine. So important if you sit down and you don't move much throughout the day. Time. Just do a little closeout, so just sit on your toes real quick. Awesome, guys. I hope that helped. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications for more mobility videos. Let's go.